Ray Morgan here once again at ringside and inviting you to join me in your favorite ringside seat at the National Arena in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. for the best in professional wrestling. Here's the card. Steve Stanlee meeting Prince Iaukea in a one-fall match. In a 2 out of 3 fall battle, Hector Serrano takes on Tomas Marin. 1 fall to curfew. Tony Altamore battles Bruno Sammartino's newly arrived cousin, Antonio Pugliese. We'll be getting underway with another exciting encounter in just a moment.
Look, don't you tell me this is my place of business. I'm telling you, stay over there.
Friendly Bob Freed.
Thank you, Ray. Here's promoter Vince McMahon's lineup of 9 great wrestling matches set for the Washington Coliseum this coming Monday night. Angelo Savoldi meets the Golden Boy Arnold Skolin. Tony Altamore opposes the magnificent Maurice. Joe Millick battles Pete Sanchez. Miguel Perez tests Prince Curtis Iaukea. The Mongolian Stomper engages Wahoo McDaniel. Don McClary takes on Antonino Pugliese. And Tarzan Tyler duels another blonde bomber, Johnny Valentine. Plus 2 title bouts. Listen to this. Gorilla Monsoon versus the world's heavyweight champion, Bruno Sammartino. And the undefeated Molten Giant Baron Mikel Cicluna headlines against the United States title holder, Big Bobo Brazil. Ladies and gentlemen, this next match is 1 fall. The Principals, Chicago, Illinois, 235. Here is Mr. America, Steve Stanlee. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing at this time the famous manager, Bobby Davis. From Hawaii, 370, here is Prince Iaukea. 1 fall.
Announced him as 370. My record shows that he's 380, and he looks every bit of it. Bobby Davis is going to inspect the Prince's hands. The Prince doesn't want the referee to touch him. At least Bobby doesn't want him to touch him. Bobby Davis doesn't take long to make his presence felt, does he? And the fans got one look at him. And despite all those telegrams and letters that we got asking, where is he? You'd wonder at the reaction that he gets, why they wondered where he was. But believe me, we were flooded with letters, telegrams. Some of the people here at ringside did not send them. Steve, Mr. America, Stanlee. Whoa, he gets clobbered fast. And the Prince really going to work on him. Stanlee. Oh, Stanlee wound up right next to Bobby Davis. And I think he was inclined to continue the battle with Davis as his opponent, instead of the huge Hawaiian Prince. Well, now that strike is over, new faces and top talent headline the All-Star Wrestling set for Madison Square Garden Monday night, January 24th. Interesting newcomers include Bruno Sammartino's cousin, fresh from Italy, Antonio Pugliese. The 380-pound Hawaiian giant now in the ring, Prince Iaukea. 3 great matches on the Garden card. Pit Bobby Davis's Mongolian Stomper against Chief Bigheart, plus 2 title matches. The Miller brothers defending their U.S. Tag Team Championship against Johnny Valentine and Bobo Brazil. And the undefeated Malton Strong Boy, Baron Mikel Cicluna, meeting the world's heavyweight title holder, Bruno Sammartino. All on Madison Square Garden's great wrestling show, Monday night, January 24th. Reverse headlock by the Prince, the referee checking to make sure that it wasn't a choke, and Davis assuring him from his position outside the ring that it wasn't. Whoa! Did you see the mammoth size of those legs just as they clamped around the head of Steve Stanlee? Bobby Davis doing his best to keep the referee away from there. And
it's up on the jaw there.
The Prince assuring Eddie Blake that it was up on the jaw. Got there after quite a section around his throat, however, while Davis was distracting the referee. The Prince doubling Stanlee over that rope. And here's Bobby Davis going to work on Stanlee while the Prince is being backed away. And Stanlee getting it from both sides. Now while Davis is distracting the referee, look what the Prince is doing. Bobby Davis giving his man a chance to indulge in a few extracurricular holds. The Prince bouncing him off that turnbuckle as though he were batting a ball off a wall. And there he goes, on out. Davis waving to the Prince to come on and get there and grab him before he gets in, and the Prince follows orders. You better be careful, however. The referee could disqualify him now. However, the referee is having as much trouble making Bobby Davis behave as he is having the Prince stay in line. Oh boy, like a Mack truck backing into you. The Prince, here comes the tide coming in. The big splash. 380 pounds, and Stanlee is not in any position to move that. There he is, my man. Bobby Davis says, my man. Oh boy, Stanlee must feel like a steamroller just rolled over him. Davis trying to get a hand for his giant. Here's the time.
And the winner of this match, Prince Iaukea.
Davis alone in his applause as that verdict is announced. The winner of this match between Steve Mr. America Stanlee and the 380-pound Prince Iaukea is Prince Iaukea. All right, Bob.
Ladies and gentlemen, officiating at this time, your referee, Vince DePauler. This match is 2 out of 3 falls, the principals. From the Bronx, New York, 226, here is Hector Serrano. And his opponent from Puerto Rico at 233, Tomas Marin. 2 out of 3 falls.
Among others here at ringside, enjoying the matches tonight, from over in Baltimore, Mrs. Georgette Krieger and Mrs. Blanche Malinowski. Hector Serrano on the left, Tomas Marin on the right of your screen, as Vince DePaula gives the instructions. Serrano crouching as he backs away, although Marin is not one to break the rules unless he's provoked into it by his opponent's actions. But Serrano acted as though he expected the worst. Serrano carrying on a running gunfire commentary with the fans. There he goes. Man, he caught Marin flush in the face. And Serrano pointing at some of his hecklers, saying that was for you. Again, Marin was lured into relaxing. Serrano, after very plainly holding up his hand as though he were going to break, nailed him. No, you weren't hauled by the hair at all. That was a legitimate hip lock. And there he goes again. Better pay a little more attention to Marin. a gentleman. And he thinks he just proved it with that handshake. Side headlock. Whoop, he was no gentleman there. 2 out of 3 fall match between Tomas Marin and Hector Serrano. Hey, good news. The best possible for you fans up Long Island way. Big time wrestling at its best, headed for Whitey Carlson's beautiful Island Garden in West Hempstead, Friday night, January 28th. The huge Hawaiian 380-pound Prince Iaukea, Bruno Sammartino's cousin Antonio Pugliese, Bobby Davis's Mongolian Stomper, and the world's heavyweight champ Bruno Sammartino are top stars on this tremendous card. One of the outstanding shows of the winter season at the Island Garden in West Hempstead, Long Island, Friday night, January 28th.
Hey, watch my trunks now. Watch.
Marin with a leg lock. And the referee, Vince DiPaula, closely watching those shoulders of Serrano. Serrano with a monkey flip, and oh boy, he nips right up to his feet. And he's showing the fans how ready he is for battle. And Tomas Marin is showing how ready he is. Serrano grabbing for those ropes. Ooh, look at that. Serrano raking across the back of Marin. That's not doing him any good. And now he's got him by the windpipe. Look at this. The referee watching to make sure he doesn't dig those fingers into the back comes around now and... Did he catch him? Nope, not yet. Serrano's got Marin on a merry-go-round. Grabbed him by the ear. He didn't pull his hair. He grabbed him by the ear to help accomplish that takedown. Arm and wrist lock by Serrano. And back down he hauls him. That's the best I've ever heard. Serrano just told the referee, please don't bother me. Marin once again taken off his feet. And this time, however, Vince DiPaula spotted the method that was used to get him down and quickly forces Serrano to break. Figuring that Serrano's going to start to get rough, he'd better get rough too. And he's certainly showing Serrano that he can. Serrano looking for cover. Oh boy, face rake by Serrano. The referee showing him very vividly what he means when he says don't do it. There he goes. Serrano is flirting with a disqualification now. Vince DiPaula with another warning finger in the face of Serrano. Oh, look at this. Serrano crying out, watch the fist, watch the fist. know if you heard me mention or not earlier the fact that Bruno Sammartino goes into his big battle with Baron Mikhail Cicluna. For the first time since becoming champion, he is the underdog, in the opinion of many of the experts. While Bruno, in conversation, doesn't seem to be fazed by it, I'm sure he must wonder what he has to do. Although this Cicluna has certainly proved his worth. Look at this. Flying drop kick and a flying body block by Marin. And Serrano is flattened. We'll get the time from Bob Freed.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this first fall, Tomas Marin.
That certainly meets with the enthusiasm of the fans. The winner of this first fall in this 2 out of 3 fall match between Hector Serrano and Tomas Marin is Tomas Marin. We'll be back with the next fall in a moment. Here they go. Tomas Marin, Hector Serrano. Serrano is certainly learning his lesson. This Marin, one of the more gentlemanly men in the ring. But boy, you get him started and he knows his way around. Look at, whoop, look at that. Open hand. Serrano with a snapmare and a double knee drive right alongside the head of Marin. Serrano sending them in there now. Well, that telegram that Bruno Sammartino tore up and that I read to you from Freddie Blassie, I just want to tell you this. Vince McMahon is going to do everything he possibly can to make that match come true. The bout in which Bruno Sammartino would wrestle the powerful and angry West Coast contender, fiery Freddie Blassie, right here on Channel 5. Vince is determined to put this one on, and don't be surprised if he makes the match. He generally gets what he goes after as a wrestling promoter. Freddie Blassie apparently feels that despite the fact he's been beaten by Bruno, as Bruno says, that his attempt to teach Baron Cicluna some things that he thinks that will dethrone Bruno, well, he may find himself being called upon to put his muscles where his mouth is. Double chin block by Marin. Oh, and there go those flying fingers of Serrano. Hector Serrano was guilty of this during the first fall. And despite the warning of the referee, he is now returning to this style of attack. Wrestling's on the upswing in the New York area. Interesting new faces and established old favorites will headline 2 terrific cards set for Madison Square Garden Monday night, January 24th, and the Allen Garden Arena in West Hempstead, Long Island, the following Friday night, January 28th. Red McNulty, the 380-pound Hawaiian Prince Iaukea, Bruno Sammartino's cousin Antonio Pugliese, Bobby Davis's Mongolian Stomper, and the undefeated Baron Mikel Cicluna are the newcomers who will see action on both shows, along with the old favorites Johnny Valentine and the world's champ Bruno Sammartino. On top wrestling shows at Madison Square Garden, Monday night, January 24th, and the Allen Garden in West Hempstead, Friday night, January 28th. By Hector Serrano, really being pounded into that mat with this body scissors and pile driver by Marin. Right into the pit of the stomach. And boy, that'll take plenty of starch out of Marin. Marin over the top rope. Serrano doesn't want him to get back, that's obvious. The referee has different ideas, however. Now Serrano comes charging in behind the referee again. Boy, did Serrano go down, and look at this. 2. Nope. I thought he had him. Marin flying over that top rope, and boy, he almost did it. Serrano getting out of the way of the on-charging Marin, who with fist cocked was ready to do battle. And one of our ringside spectators giving a count for Serrano. Serrano again beating a retreat as Marin advanced on him. Serrano wants the referee to get Marin back out of the way, and Marin goes back at the order of the referee. Serrano keeping well out of the reach of Marin. Well, Serrano certainly stalling for time now. And there you get a shot of the woman who has been heckling Serrano ever since he made an appearance. She's been leading the heckling, I might say. She's not the only one that's been getting after him. No, he's allowed a count of 20 before he gets in. She wanted to stop at the count of 10. Whoa! Well, Serrano might have had the right idea about staying out of the reach. A couple of trip outs and Serrano on the flat of his back. And down again he goes with a thud. Now he's sure he wants to stay out of there. Serrano, as he walks by me, says that his trunks are being pulled. Well, if his trunks were being pulled, they certainly had to be down around his ankles.
Watch this.
47,700 people died in auto accidents last year. Thousands of them were good drivers, like you. But being a good driver and in the right isn't enough. You could be dead right. So make defensive driving a habit. Always watch out for the other guy. Your life depends upon it. This is a 2 out of 3 fall match, and the first fall has been won by Marin. And Serrano is certainly making a habit of being out of the ring more than he's in there. In the second fall, Marin really has him backing up. From the going over he's getting, Serrano has good reason. Palm of the hand, says Marin, but it doesn't quite look like it. And from the look on Serrano's face, I'm sure it doesn't feel like it. Out again. Incidentally, Baron Mikel Cicluna, if he succeeds in his attempt to wrest the World's Heavyweight Wrestling Championship from Bruno Sammartino up at Madison Square Garden, will be the first wrestler of Maltese blood ever to hold the wrestling title. Serrano with a series of snap mares. Whoop. A tremendous flying hip lock as Serrano threw his full weight into that. There he goes up again and down as he whips Marin to the mat. Once more he's up. This time Marin drops him on the flat of his back and neck, and that took all the battle out of Serrano. He's running for cover again, but it's over. He wants out. Boy, Serrano really had it. Here's the time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this match in 2 straight falls, Marin.
The winner in 2 straight falls in this match between Hector Serrano and Tomas Marin is Tomas Marin. Bob?
Ladies and gentlemen, officiating at this time, your referee, Jack Davis. This next match is 1 fall to curfew, the Principals. From Stamford, Connecticut, 236, here is Tony Altamore. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, it's always a pleasure to introduce the world's heavyweight champion, Bruno Sammartino. And also the Golden Boy, Arnold Skaaland. Tony Altamore's opponent from Italy at 235 pounds, Antonino Pugliese, 1 fall.
Tony Altamore already has had enough of the heckling from the ringside. He wants ringside cleared. He doesn't want to listen to any of that. Altamore, a great favorite up around Stamford and Bridgeport, New Haven. This is our first look at the cousin of Bruno Sammartino, his first appearance in this country, Antonio Pugliese. And as you can see, he's a very handsome fellow. Congratulations, New York fans. The transit strike's over and plenty of good seats are available for that great wrestling card at Madison Square Garden Monday night, January 24th. The Garden's box office will be open all day tomorrow for this new deal of international all-stars and new faces, such as the 380-pound Hawaiian Prince Iaukea, Bruno Sammartino's cousin, now in the ring, Antonio Pugliese, Bobby Davis's Mongolian Stomper. Here are a few of the matches. The Mongolian Stomper meets Chief Bigheart, Smasher Sloan versus Pugliese, and undefeated Baron Mikel Cicluna meets the world's champ, Bruno Sammartino. All on Madison Square Garden's tremendous wrestling card, Monday night, January 24th.
The Tigers are hungry in the Super Bowl.
Pugliese with an arm lock, and he has had Altamore whipping through the air. Nice trip out by Pugliese. Wrist lock and arm wringer. Standing wrist lock and arm wringer, and he's bracing his knee against that elbow, putting more pressure on the hold. And Altamore really feeling it. Altamore reaching desperately for the ropes, makes them. And Pugliese steps back. Tony Altamore, that tirade was directed at the champ Bruno Sammartino and his road manager Arnie Skolin. Of course, Bruno quite anxious to watch his cousin in his first match, and he certainly is getting an eyeful. Altamore trying to reverse that full Nelson, but Pugliese very neatly got away from it. Look at this. Altamore once more spins free, and Pugliese once more recaptures him. That'll teach you to use the ropes. Davis reminding Pugliese when he's through the ropes, let him alone. Altamore telling Davis he better keep his eyes open. Well, not to be using a pun, but this is the height of something or other. Big Bobo Brazil is meeting the first man taller than himself in his match at the Coliseum here in Washington Monday night when he takes on Baron Mikel Cicluna, the giant from Malta. Incidentally, Cicluna has made a suggestion that might interest you fans. He's advised the management they'd better have a stretcher ready to take his opponent away Monday night. Well, Pugliese has certainly demonstrated that he has certainly a variety of holds and is well worthy of being related to the champion. He's upholding the family honor quite well thus far. We'd better not put a jinx on him, however, because the tide of battle can turn quickly. And Tony Altamore has certainly had quite a bit more experience in the rough and ready catch-as-catch-can style of wrestling that prevails here in the wrestling capital of the world. Antonio tightening up on that headlock. Altamore, and Pugliese really flattens him. He's catching him with two beautiful shoulder blocks. Pugliese staying well away from that haymaker. And look at Altamore scrambling for the ropes. As a result, among other things, of the transit strike in New York, plenty of good seats are still available for you New York fans for that great card at the Garden. Monday night, January 24th, so better take advantage of it. Bear hug. And he has to release it.
Right clean, you understand about it?
Altamore calling out the rules to Pugliese. He didn't think he broke that fast enough. And Davis just called over to the champ, said, help me out a little bit here. Apparently Pugliese doesn't understand English too well, and Davis wanted Bruno to call in when Jack gives an order to break, call in to Pugliese in his native tongue so that he'd understand it. I would have thought that Pugliese might know that. As Pugliese is very smooth, boy. Handles himself well. He can drive that shoulder in there, too. Look at this. If Altamore thought he was going to trip him, he was mistaken. Look at this. Pugliese gave him the steamroller and then came back with two beautiful flying drop kicks. Altamore started around this way, but sitting there very calmly, the champ and Arnie. So he took a different route. Trying to clamp on a side headlock. Finds his intended target, a very slippery one. Tries to flip him off and can't succeed in that. Altamore trying to find out where he is. He's right there with you. Altamore says he's got grease on him. Davis checks and finds out that he hasn't. Altamore looking desperately for those ropes. And he's got them. Bruno just then called out to Pugliese to go ahead and step back. Altamore spins him into the corner, and look at this. He's got a grip on the windpipe. There go a couple of whips to the into the stomach and to the jaw, and that fired up Pugliese. Pugliese says, okay, if you want to be rough, let's all be rough. And he's showing that he can be. Pugliese with an arm whip. Oh, he walked into one there, though. Altamore caught him a butte right under the chin. Look at this. Pugliese hooks him with a full leg Nelson, spins him over, and's got him. Bruno, the first to jump through the ropes, and congratulate Pugliese on his first victory here in the States. Bruno's cousin, Antonio Pugliese, and I'm sure you'll be seeing and hearing a lot of him. Let's get the time, Bob.
And the winner of this match, Antonio Pugliese.
And that makes it official. Wait a minute. What is this? Over talking with Altamore is Tarzan Tyler. Well, Tarzan's not going to change the decision, that's for sure. Incidentally, I think we have a couple of minutes. I'm going to talk with some of the wrestlers, and I'll be doing that right after we make official the verdict. The winner of this match between Antonio Pugliese and Tony Altamore is Antonio Pugliese. Despite the fact that Tony Altamore just had a rather rough time in the ring, I prevailed upon him to say a few words for us, and he has been the first to meet Bruno's cousin. I wanted to get his opinion, however, on Bruno's upcoming match with Baron Mikkel Cicluna. Now, Tony, you're a qualified man to talk to on the matter. Many of the experts seem to feel that Baron Cicluna and his style and that hangman's hold of his will prove to be the undoing of Bruno Sammartino. What do you think?
Well, Ray, I've been around quite a bit in the wrestling game, and I've seen a lot of things, and I've seen a lot of wrestlers, but I will say this. Out of all the guys I have seen up to this point, I think Cicluna is really qualified to do the job. I've seen him work. I watched him train. I've seen him in condition. I've seen this guy ready and willing to go, and I know that he is going to be undoubtedly the victor in this upcoming match on the 24th.
You have no doubt about it.
No, I was talking to Tyler, talked to some of the other fellows who've been around, and we're under the same impression that this fella is going to be the taker of the belt, I'm afraid.
All right, well.
On the 24th of this month.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. I know you want to get back and take a shower. I know that you...
Ray, I'd like to say one other thing, if I may. I think I speak for the whole country. I want to pay tribute to the people in New York. I think they've been a great people under a great crisis. And I know on Monday night, the wrestling fans now are going to be able to get to the Garden for this great show. And I think the whole world is looking up to the New Yorkers. I think they're a great bunch of people under this great crisis.
Sure, we can all agree with that. Thank you very much, Tony Altamore. Right, nice to talk with you. Here's a fellow who certainly knows whereof he speaks. Tarzan, let's have your opinion.
Listen, I don't have much to say. All I want to say is this: I've been working out with the Baron, and I know what's going to happen to Bruno Sammartino on the Garden.
Okay, well, there it is. That seems to be the consensus. And Professional Wrestling will be back with you next week. And until then, from the National Arena, Ray Morgan saying so long.